Chapter 7. Always Watching You. I grabbed my flashlight from my vest and lit up the inside of the shed. I can't believe I just fell for an old prank and allowed Carrie to lock me inside. I backed into something hard and turned around to see what it was. A motorcycle. That's odd. I didn't take Carrie to be the kind to ride. Hold on now, I thought to myself. This motorcycle looked familiar. It was a green and white crotch rocket, like the one that left me in the dust a few weeks ago. I walked to the back of the motorcycle and saw the license plate CR419. Wow, Carrie got me not once, but twice now for outrunning me on her motorcycle and not locking me in her shed. I looked around the shed and saw the same pink helmet with a purple mohawk hanging in the corner. I sat the doll on the motorcycle seat and again tried to open the door. It was definitely locked, but the doors felt flimsy. I'm positive if I can get a running start and put my shoulder into it, I can bust out of here. I backed up to the far end of the shed while jumping a little to get the blood flowing and to hype myself up. All right, on 3. 1, 2. And just then, that all-familiar static noise keyed up over my portable radio. I turned my radio up, not wanting to miss anything.
I see you,
Came the doll's voice through the radio. I looked over to the doll, still on the motorcycle seat, and said, I see you too. The air inside the shed changed in an instant, making it difficult to breathe.
Can you please find me?
The doll asked, Where are you? I asked back.
Only Mommy knows.
I looked the doll in the eyes and asked, What did she do to you? A moment of silence passed before the static over the radio started to fade away. I looked around the shed one more time, hoping to find anything else that would surprise me. I lowered my shoulder and charged for the shed doors, busting them both open. I thought I saw the silhouette of a little girl, back towards the house just before the sunlight hit my eyes, causing me to squint and lose focus as my eyes were getting used to the darkness. Once I readjusted, the girl was gone. I looked around for her, but she was nowhere to be found. I walked around the outside of the house looking for Carrie. I really didn't want to go back inside after hearing the floor creak behind me when no one was there. I got back into my patrol car and drove to Reyes's house just down the road. His front door was wide open and his truck was in the driveway. I walked up to the open door and shouted for him. No response. Just then I heard a door from the rear of the house open and the sound of someone running away. I ran inside and out the back door after whoever it was. I just caught a glimpse of Carrie running off into the tree line in Reyes's backyard. Damn it, what did she do now? I said to myself. I took off running after her, knowing I could catch her, but then I realized Reyes was still inside. I walked back inside and shouted for Reyes. It was quiet. Too quiet. No TV sound, no noise from an air conditioner, nothing. I found a bathroom at the end of the hall with the door open and saw 2 feet indicating someone was in there laying down. Reyes, I shouted as I ran down the hall and found him laying down on the bathroom floor, unconscious, with a steak knife lodged in his shoulder. I slapped him across the cheek, trying to get him to wake up. Reyes opened his eyes, and I noticed a cut on his forehead. Don't move too much. You have a knife in your back, I told Reyes.
She knows,
Reyes said as he was starting to focus on what had just happened. Reyes rubbed his eyes and asked if Carrie was still there. I told him she ran off when I pulled in. Reyes said,
She's taken everything from me. She tried to take my life, and I know she took my daughter.
The ambulance arrived and Reyes was taken off to the hospital. The medic explained Carrie must have knocked Reyes out cold and tried to kill him with a steak knife, but didn't hit any vital organs.
Thank you for getting here when you did. If you didn't, she would have finished me off.
Reyes thanked me. Somehow Carrie found out Reyes and I had a conversation because, like he said, if she finds out he talked to me, she would try to kill him. I rode with Reyes in the ambulance to the hospital. Reyes, I know you're hurting, but can you tell me what happened? I asked. Reyes answered,
I was about to use the bathroom when I heard footprints coming down the hall towards me. I thought it was you, but when I looked down the hall, I didn't see anyone. It felt like I was being watched, so I looked around the house, and no one was there. The whole time I could just feel someone behind me staring me down. I thought I was losing my mind. I went back to the bathroom and Carrie came out of nowhere and hit me over the head with a frying pan and I blacked out.
I said, I think once you fell down, she went to the kitchen and got a knife and stabbed you in the back of the shoulder. Rayos looked off into the distance and told me she won't stop until she's stopped. We got to the hospital and the Rayos was taken to a room. I followed Rayos to the room and patiently waited for the nurse to ask him the basics, and we had the room to ourselves. Rayos, tell me what's going on with Carrie. Rayos looked at me, and I could tell he didn't want to get into it. I just saved your life. Tell me why, I said. Rayos said,
Carrie and I have known each other for a long time. The Carrie I know now is not the Carrie I fell in love with. I didn't have enough money to buy her a ring. I got her pregnant, and I was so happy. It was the opposite for her. She became depressed and turned. She tried reaching out to her dead mother by some sort of witchcraft. Haley was born, and Carrie never came back. I convinced her to get help, but she refused. I tried everything to get her committed, and she saw that as me trying to take Haley away from her. She knew she needed help, but always turned to praying to the demons for guidance. She did whatever she could to keep Haley away from me, so I got a job at the school just to see my own daughter. My own daughter who never knew I was her father. She must have seen me as a crazy janitor. You don't know how painful that is, do you?
I looked at him completely stunned. You're right, I said. I don't have any kids of my own and can't imagine your pain. Rayos looked back up at me and said,
At least you have the doll.
Well, I replied, I fell into Carrie's trap and I'm sure she has the doll now.
You need the doll. Carrie is so far gone she will believe Haley is living through that doll. If she doesn't have it, she may break and snap back into reality.
I got up to leave and told Rayos he was safe, as there's no way Carrie would be allowed near him.
Officer Ray, please find my daughter, dead or alive.
I arrived back to the station and began working on warrants for Carrie's arrest. Home invasion, aggravated assault. With a deadly weapon will put her away for the rest of her life. I sent the papers off to the state's attorney's office and drove back to Rayos's house. His back door was still wide open from Carrie hightailing it off into the woods. I closed it and locked it and made my way through his house back to the front door. I stepped outside, and as I was about to close the door, I heard the floor creak from inside. I stopped and held the door open and peeked back inside. It was getting dark, and I knew what I had to do. "Who's there?" I shouted. No response. I stepped back inside and looked around. I had the same feeling of being watched as Reus just described to me. "Carrie, you got some nerve coming back so quick," I shouted. Only this didn't feel like Carrie's presence. As many times as I tracked Carrie down, this felt completely different. I heard footsteps casually walk down the hallway away from me. I peeked into each room as I made my way down the hall towards the same bathroom I found Rayos in earlier. The light was still on, and Rayos' blood was still on the floor from being stabbed. I turned my portable radio up, hoping to hear the doll, even though I no longer had it. I stepped inside the bathroom and couldn't believe I saw the numbers 419 written in blood on the bathroom mirror. The same numbers on the motorcycle license plate. An address Carrie was squatting in. This is all connected somehow, and I'm the only one who knows. I heard it again, the floor creaking from outside of the bathroom in the hall. It's as if whatever presence it is wanted me to see the mirror and realize what's going on. I looked back at the mirror to make sure I saw what I saw when I noticed a silhouette in the corner of my eye from behind the shower curtain. I slowly looked over and saw the same silhouette in the shower curtain I saw earlier that afternoon after breaking out of the shed. It was the silhouette of a small teenage girl who could only be Haley. "Where are you?" I asked. No movement from the silhouette as it stayed completely in place. I could tell it wanted to speak to me, but I didn't have the doll, so I couldn't hear her. I put my hand up to the shower curtain, looing for any type of response. As soon as my palm hit the curtain, the silhouette vanished. I felt like I could have gotten somewhere, or at least learned a clue if I had the doll with me. I made my way out of the house and locked Rios's front door. As I opened my car door, I could barely make out someone watching me through a window. I looked back just long enough before whoever it was stepped back out of sight. I knew it wasn't Carrie, but I'll definitely be back.